Welcome to this new gospel. I'm Audrey Mack, and on this gospel, I'm going to talk something that I'm hoping is going to be short, sweet, but powerful. You know, we find out in Acts chapter 17, verse 11, that Paul actually had just left Thessalonica, where he had been persecuted because of the gospel, and he found himself in the region of Berea. And here he writes something quite amazing. He said, now these Jews were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Why? Because they received the word with all eagerness, examining afterward the scriptures daily to see if the things were so. Now, what is it about the Berean that they did that separated them from the other people and those from Thessalonica? Is that they heard the word, but they were not just satisfied with just hearing somebody's preaching. They went back to the Bible, they dug into the scriptures, and they pretty much found out and received their own revelation. Now, why am I wanting to talk about that today? Because we live in a time where I see a trend. Just like in Athens in times past where Paul visited, that people are not automatically looking for truth and revelation. People are looking for a new thing. Now listen to this. In Acts 17, verse 21, it says, now all the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there would spend their time in nothing except telling or hearing something new. Does it sound familiar? I go around and I can see and hear people going from conference to conference, from church to church, from here to there, scrolling through YouTube, looking for something new. And you know, the Bible talks about it. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 through 5, try to say that fast, right? Here Paul sends a warning. And he says, for the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myth. As for you, always be sober-minded. You know what Paul is warning us? He's really talking about what's going on right now. That people are not so much interested in truth. They just want a new idea, a new thought, a new this, a new, and they are hoping here and there, trying to get a bunch of information and new things, the new thing, instead of looking and seeking and pursuing the truth. You know, in 2 Timothy 3 verse 7, and I see that a lot. I travel everywhere. I go to so many places. And sometimes I find people that have a lot of information, but that are not even grounded and rooted in the elementary doctrine of the Word of God. They know a whole lot of things, and that's what it says, always learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. You know, God spoke to me a long time ago, and He told me that to be free from the fear of repetition. Because as a minister, the temptation was to get into that trend and always go and preach a new thing, come with the next new revelation. And God spoke to me and He says, Audrey, no. He said, I'm not interested in the new thing. I'm interested in my people being rooted and grounded in the Word of God, in the truth. And so I really want to send you to maybe for you to check yourself and just to ask yourself, have I been seeking, wanting to hear a new thing, or am I pursuing, wanting to hear and know the truth? Even if the truth sounds boring, even if the truth sounds unspectacular, even if the truth sounds so familiar, even if the truth makes me want to think I've already heard this, because you see, the moment you say I've already heard this, you are shutting yourself off from any new revelation. For you to be, like Mark 4 says, you start building roots, and then when tribulation and persecution come, you stand strong in the truth. And that is the reason why, my friend, the Apostle Peter was, when you look at his epistles, he never was ashamed to repeat things that they had already heard or they already knew. I mean, listen to that verse. 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 12 and 13. Out of the mouth of Peter, therefore, I intend always to remind you of these qualities, though you know them and are established in the truth that you have. I think it right, as long as I am in this body, to stir you up. How? By way of reminder. You see, he said it. You have heard it already, maybe 1,000 times. You know them. You are established. But I'm not going to stop reminding you, stirring you up, because that is where the revelation, this is where truth presides. Here is another verse. Here again, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Peter says, this is now the second letter that I'm writing to you, beloved. In both of them, I'm stirring you up. I'm stirring up your sincere mind by way of reminder. But you think, wait, Peter, you already shared that with us. You've already told us. We know that. We've heard it. We all know. You see, he didn't care. It was not about bringing a new thing. It was about bringing the truth that would establish them, that would keep them steady, that would make them into true disciples of Jesus Christ. And you know what? That's exactly what Jesus did. When you look at all the gospel, Jesus didn't preach a new thing. I've got a new thing. He just preached the gospel. He just preached the truth of the gospel and nothing else. You see, Jesus didn't go from every synagogue and said, oh, let me preach the new revelation. No, he preached truth that would establish people, that would save people, that would free people. So let's just be of the same mind, of the same heart, and not be like, Paul told us about those people that are running here and there with itching ears, looking for a new thing, a new preacher, and pile up teachers to their fences. Let us not be like that, but let us be lovers of the truth that can hear the same word 1,000 times and it always sounds fresh because our heart loves the truth. I hope this has blessed you. We'll see each other soon. Bye-bye.